When you wish to import a DXF AutoCAD file into Perforex, you have to make sure that you have your DXF parameters set up correctly for the file, for the import. So to do that, we're going to go into number 3, Service, One Machine, then go down to Parameter DXF Conversion. The first screen that pops up, or the first tab that pops up, is Registers and Conditions. This particular tab allows you to change the scale. In my case, I'm doing a 1-to-1. I convert all of my drawings into metric before I try to import. That becomes very handy. If you have irregular shapes, you cannot import directly into Perforex without converting first. Regular shapes like circles and rectangles will work just fine. However, irregular shapes, radius corners, some special custom shape that you have to use a polyline trace on needs to be a 1-to-1. Kind of analysis. I always use element and color. There are others you can select from, and you may have some other reason why you want to do, say, maybe element and layer or color and layer. But I use element and color, meaning the shape of the element, the size of the element, and then the color would determine what tool you were going to pick up. All right, then let's go ahead and move forward to the Identifiers tab. This is the most important tab we need to talk about. If you can see my list of drills and taps, you'll see that I have the color set up for a drill of 3, that being green. But my taps I have set up to 4, being cyan. It's calling out the tool number, the tool name, and then a minimum and maximum, which we'll talk about in a second. If I wanted to add something or change something, I could click on a new column, a new row. I can go ahead and double click on it and select from my list of tools that I might have. Let's go ahead and add a 7mm drill. All right, so I'll double click on that, and it added a new tool into my list. Now, this new tool, though, does not have a color. You have to enter in a 3 or a 4, depending on whether it was a drill or a tap. All right, so both my 4mm drill and my 7mm drill would be picked up. Now, let's talk about the minimum and maximum. When you're importing from DXF, you might have a 4mm drill that is coming in as 3.999. If I leave it at 4-to-4 in my minimum and maximum, it would never see it. So I've increased and decreased my minimum and maximum, giving me a larger window to look at for that tool. Now, the 7mm that I just added, it came in as 7-to-7. The odds are pretty great that that will not be recognized if it should be off by 1,000th or something such as that, some small minimal amount. So I'm going to change this to 6.99 to 7.01. There's a good chance that will be seen. Once you establish all your tools from your tool list, you should be able to import your tools. Let's talk about real quickly at the top. Color number 1 is red, and that identifies your mounting panel and raw panel. And then down at the bottom, color number 7, which is white, is going to be the color used for all of your CAE 33 text tags, which will have to be covered in a different video. The last tab is contour detection. The most important item on this page is going to be what color are we going to identify a mill as? And it's going to be color number 6 or magenta. And that is for right correction. If you're doing left correction, then you would use color number 2 or yellow. The default mill I have set up as tool number 19. Everyone probably has that as their default milling tool. And the default tool correction is right. This is telling me that the default milling depth 1 is saying to start at 4 millimeters, but as I'm moving from point A to point B, change to 7 millimeters, slowly go deeper. And so the tool will toggle in and out. The most important, if you're ever having problems with importing a tool, it's generally going to go back to the Identifiers tab. This is the most important tab and needs to be set up for all of your tooling. If you have drills that are not being imported, it's likely because it doesn't exist in this list, or your minimum and maximums are not set correctly. And you'll have to compare that to your drawing and see what's happening. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.